I'm going to do an update on the Carcano 91/24 rifle. Now, like I've said in several other different videos, this is kind of the rifle controversy. And also, it is probably, in general terms of what's been available, the least common variation that is out there on the market today. Now, as we all know, the 91/24 is the long rifle cut down to a carbine until you come up with the 91/28 when they actually started purpose building the guns. What this was kind of a stopgap measure, and the Italians manufactured these in the 20s post-war. Now the big problem is if they took the actual gain twist barrel and shortened it, it throws the gain twist off. And there's been people trying to measure it and all, and okay. Now the example that I've had it for years. The problem with that is the barrel's worn out. And no matter what you're buying, cavalry carbines, regular TS's, the 91/24s, or the 91/28s, you will find these rifles with worn out bores. So you'll still see rifling, they're not pitted or tore up, but the specs are worn out. Okay, so it does not stabilize any bullet, no matter the diameter, weight, whatever. You have trouble shooting most factory rounds. Okay, so this is one thing about Carcanos that you know, kind of turns people away from them, and you don't know until you shoot the gun. Okay, so the one model I had, I thought because they cut the barrel off that it was off, but in reality what it was, the gun was so inaccurate as the bore is huge, and unless I use my oversized cast bullet, you get jack shit for accuracy. Okay, and there's a couple other guns that I have that are not shortened long rifles that do the same damn thing. So the only good thing is Carcanos aren't that expensive, and you can get several different ones and find one you like to shoot. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go out. I had some time on range, so I'll take this out and I'm going to go and shoot it and see how it works with the new bullet, the larger diameter PPU 130 grain bullet, and my cast bullet. I didn't film it, so we're just going to go over the target. But I will give you a quick update on the Carcano situation while we're here. I went around and looked. Yeah, at first when they came out, it was the 91/24, and basically there was Buds was selling them, Palmetto State Armory was selling them, and I don't know if DK sold these. I don't think they did. But they sold out quite quickly in a matter of months, 2 to 3 months, and that's it. So the TS carbines came, the early ones, and the different variations. I bought 4 from DK Firearms and some other places. I think I bought the 2 24s, one from Buds, one from Palmetto State Armory. So those sold out. The 91 TS's, I believe you can still get them from Palmetto State, and I think Buds has both, the TS carbine and the cavalry carbine. And see, the third model to come out in quantity was the cavalry carbines. And kind of now that the panics wore off and everyone's kind of got one, and you know the big excitement is down, they're not selling out that fast. You can still find them on the 3 different websites. I don't know if Classic Firearms still has them, but I think even DK had a sale where they knocked some $25 off or something to try to move them. So if they're starting to do that, that means that the initial, how can I say it, euphoria of finally finding actual surplus guns that have been in storage for a while with all kinds of different markings and variations, which we haven't seen in the market in a while. came out, but now it's kind of getting to where it's petering off. I mean, the big rush is there, but now you're seeing the sales are starting to slow down. Everyone's kind of got their little part of it or taste of it, and that's where we're going. All right, so what I'm going to do, we'll go look at the targets, and I'll explain to you how I shot with this here. And it kind of did okay, but we'll look at the targets. I didn't spend a lot of time there, and I'll probably, you know, whenever I get time, I got time to just sit there, take my time and aim. I'll try to see if I can get some accuracy out of these guns. Okay, this is how I had the two targets stacked at the 50-yard range on that board. So that one was in the middle of the board, and that's where I started. So we'll get this out of the way and take a look. So what I started off shooting with is the PPU bullet, and the first sighter went in high, so I kind of got an idea. I went kind of low here on the second. Then when I went with the third, kind of too low with the jacketed bullet. So then when I went and figured out I had it, I went and, now the ones taped up are the jacketed bullets. The other holes are the cast. Then I would hit, see here, I think you can see the bullet holes underneath the tape. That's where I hit with the jacketed bullet. Now the jacketed bullet is traveling at a greater speed. So when I went to the cast bullet, using the same sight picture, one went down here. So now I had to readjust the sight picture, kind of got it in up in here, then readjusted it again, aimed down over towards here, and that's where I got this last string of 5 I got in the diamond. So pretty easy to do, you know, and it's just you got to shoot, spot, remember where you put the sight, how far down the front sight blade goes in the notch. With the jacketed bullet, it has to go down, way down, and then you just raise it up a hair, and it's all just a matter of judgment and getting used to it. So I fired those, was happy I got them in the diamond, and said, all right, instead of going, because I was using the spotting scope, wasn't going down, so I said, let me try. Now you got to remember, this target was here, so I had to shift the rest, and I shot the rest of my cast bullets using the same sight picture. Now for some reason I went to the left. I was still fairly on center, but because, you know, now I'm shooting kind of downward, threw off the sight picture. But that's the group, the 6-shot group I got at 50 yards, which, you know, ain't too terrible for a gun that, you know, can't hit the broadside of the barn. So you're looking at 3 inches. 3 inches that way, 3 inches that way. So a 3-inch group at 50 yards. Granted, when you go to 100 or more, it's gonna get bigger. It's probably gonna spread out somewhat. But that's what I kind of done with it. So you can still, I still haven't quite figured out. I haven't gotten the reference information on about that conversion. And you know, again, we'll probably, when I did my test, I ran through all those rifles, you know, basically testing them as I could. But now it's where we got to go and try to answer this question, to sit down side by side and shoot one type of gun, the 24, and another one that I know is in good shape, and see if there's a difference. I believe it doesn't like the light bullets. And I don't have any more of the 160 grain Hornadays with the flat base. Somebody out there on one of the groups said that these guns only like flat base bullets, not the boat tails like I was shooting. So just more work and something to think about.